Have you ever noticed that prices rise faster than the numbers on the evening news? You're not imagining it. In fact, governments have been quietly massaging inflation numbers for decades. And here's the paradox. The more inflation hurts you, the more they have an incentive to pretend it isn't happening. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most quietly orchestrated illusions in modern economics. Because inflation isn't just a number. It's a story governments desperately need to control. Inflation used to be simple. How much more does a loaf of bread cost this year than last year? But as economies grew more complicated, so did the math. In the 1970s, when inflation hit double digits, governments realized something dangerous. High inflation makes leaders look incompetent. And it gets worse. Inflation affects everything, from wages to pensions to the interest governments pay on their own debt. If inflation looks high on paper, governments owe more. So they changed the definition. They added adjustments, then substitutions, then hedonic quality improvements. Suddenly, inflation wasn't about prices anymore. It was about interpretation. Here's how it works. Trick number 1, substitution. If beef becomes too expensive, the inflation index assumes you'll buy chicken instead. Prices didn't fall, but the measurement makes it look like your cost of living barely changed. Trick number 2, weighting. The government chooses how much each category matters. Housing, healthcare, education. The things rising fastest often get the least weight. Trick number 3, hedonics. This one is wild. If a product improves, like a new phone with a better camera, the government may lower the inflation recorded because the product is better value, even if it costs hundreds more. Imagine a grocery store where every time the price goes up, they tell you, no, it didn't go up. You're just getting more quality. That's the game. A system built not to reflect your life, but to shape the narrative. Then came the breaking point. 2008 exposed the fragility of the global financial system. But 2020, that was the moment the illusion cracked. Supply chains froze, trillions were printed, prices exploded, and suddenly, people realized the inflation they lived through was nothing like the inflation they were being told about. Your rent went up 30%, your groceries climbed 20%, but the official report? Inflation is under control. For the first time, everyday citizens saw the gap, the disconnect between the model and reality. The result is a quiet erosion of trust. If the public doesn't believe the numbers, they stop believing the institutions behind them. And inflation mismeasurement has real consequences. Wages fall behind, retirement savings erode, living standards decline in slow motion. And most important, underreported inflation becomes a hidden tax, one you pay every time you shop, pay rent, or collect a paycheck without ever voting for it. The unsettling truth is this: inflation isn't just an economic metric, it's a political weapon. Governments don't lie with words, they lie with formulas. And until we demand transparency in how inflation is measured, the gap between what we live and what we're told will only keep growing.